Helps if I have the microphone close enough so you can hear me. So go ahead and see what you can do as far as rewinding the stream. That is so bizarre. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I showed you the settings, obviously, right before I started the stream, and I go back in, and it shows that the DVR is enabled. So, that is just bizarre. So, I don't know. Did you ever have this problem? Because I have not. Well, no, actually I did. I did once before, I think. Like way back. And it plagued me for a while, and then it just seemed to fix itself. I'm going to end up, I mean, for what it's worth, because they suck, I will try to open up a ticket with Google Tech Support and see if I can get anywhere with them. I would not bet on it, but whatever. Did you send out the emails already? All right, yeah, go ahead, and we might as well, because I don't think that the settings are going to be able to do anything. So yeah, go ahead and email it out, and I will get the Patreon set up. As you say, don't forget the Patreon. Like I've ever forgotten it. And so posts, new video. And patrons only, and publish. All right, so the patroning is out. BJ, there we go. So someone has joined us. I see the number just went up from 2 to 3. So I'm assuming that someone other than BIRDOPREY is there. And if I were a betting man, I'd say Thomas, but I don't know for sure. Of course, Thomas is always a safe bet since he's first about 70 to 80% of the time. And thank you, Bird. I do truly appreciate what you did there. And let me see. Yep, I was right. Hey, Thomas, good to see you, my friend. And stupid thing. All right, let's get this. So, not a whole lot that I'm planning on talking about today. See if you guys have anything in particular other than, oh, please check Discord. Bird killed again. Bird, what are you doing, my friend? Let's see, what'd you do? Murder of prey spree. Oh, this ought to be good. So let's see. So we'll relax and enjoy some BIRDOPREY 5 murdering here. Let me switch over, and so we can see this in all its glory.
You going to work?
Okay. What the heck happened there? Let's try refreshing that.
You, go to the park. You going to work? I'm going to kill you.
What is up with this? It keeps freezing. Let's try reducing. Let's see, what is it set to? It's set to 1080. We'll bring it down to 720. See if that helps. Man, I am having all sorts of issues today. And looks like my stream, is my stream frozen? Let me refresh it. What is going on?
Dead. Brittany Miller.
Oh, come on, what is your problem, YouTube? Let me close out some of these excess windows. Bear with me, guys. I don't know what's going on. So, Thomas, my stream's fine? That's weird, because, yeah, on my side, everything is freezing. Obviously, I can't see. I got a ton of windows open.
What about you? Are you...
Alright, let me just pause this. I want to enjoy this. Alright, Bird says you see the stream good. I'm closing out like every excess window here. And let's see, supporter stream, so close all that. Close that. Close that. Close that. Man, I got a lot of windows open. Oh, helps if I just realized I closed that window that you sent me.
You, go to the park. You going to work? I'm gonna kill you. Dead. Brittany Miller, dead.
You're gonna murder someone?
What about you? Are you going to the park? And if you don't say you're going to the park, you die. You're going to school. Aw. That's too bad. Goodbye.
Wow, killing school children? Seriously, Bird?
There. Mysterious disappearances. Where are you going? You're going to work. Goodbye. You are going home, not to the park. Goodbye. You're going home.
Bird, what are you doing?
Goodbye.
Why are you using the Tantalus field on these guys?
There's a murder streak. You're confused. Well, we definitely can't have confused people in the city. Come on, you last one. You son of a bitch. You're going home. Oh well. Nobody wants to go to the park. It's not murder, it's justifiable. They're not going to the park. What am I supposed to do? I had no choice. You guys see, I had no choice. You're my witnesses.
Bird.
You're my witnesses.
Yeah, we're your witnesses to you. That's clearly just murder.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
How is that justified, Bird?
People get to the park.
I mean, I just, you're saying that because these people didn't go to the
what
park.
Happened to anti-trucker.
You're saying that, wait, say what to anti-trucker?
Explains what happened to anti-trucker.
So what you're saying...
You, go to the park.
What you're saying is that you will casually murder people because they're not going where you want them to go. I just want to make sure we're clear on that. That is... Wow. Bird, that's just sick and wrong. Bird, you need help. You truly need help. Meanwhile, Bird's filing a DMCA. He's saying, I had no choice. You obviously had a choice. You could have simply not murdered them. That was your choice. That's the thing. Tom says stream's fine, thank you. Bird says stream's... I don't know why I was messing up on my side, but apologize. Darth Kilhoon is in the house, says hi. How you doing, Darth? Antrigger, you gave BIRDOPREY a taste of blood, now he wants more. Apparently, yeah, Bird is just turning into a crazy nut job here. Mercer says, I'm here. Good to see you, Mercer. Darth Kilhoon is laughing at Thomas. BIRDOPREY says, I was reading a quote. They were ordered to go. This is an internal Karoga matter. Prime directive applies. It isn't... well, Bird, I'm not saying that we will interfere with the internal workings of Karoga. However, that doesn't change the fact that we can comment on the fact that you are committing mass murder for no reason other than people didn't go to a park that you were hoping they would go to. That seems a little dickish at best. So, yeah, that's a thing. Way to go, Bird. Man, oh man, that's messed up. So, one quick thing I do want to, I'm going to tell you guys, and only you guys, the regular audience does not know yet, is that in a few days, we are going to have a new member of the family here, hence the name of this stream. We are adopting a rescue, and who is a beagle, very sweet, very quiet dog, and I'm actually, one of the reasons that I've been trying to clean up around here is that beagle is going to be basically my companion up here when I'm working and stuff. And so, yes, we're rescuing Sassy. Now, this the funny thing is, so the dog's name is going to be Auntie. So the dog's name is Auntie. Now you might be saying, but wait a minute, the dog probably, because it's a rescue dog. She's 7 years old, so it's not like she doesn't already have a name. Yes, that's true, but her current name, her slave name, her Karogan name was Allie. And so we are rescuing Allie from the clutches of Karoga, and her freedom name is Auntie, as in the Auntie puppy. So she should be with us in the next couple of days. I actually have been working as hard as I possibly can to basically get the area around my desk where I sit here set up for Auntie to be able to be comfortable. So, for example, right underneath the table here that I keep my knickknacks on is her bed. So, very much looking forward to that. I think you guys will love her. She's very, we've gone to the pet store where she's been staying, and she's so quiet, and just very, very passive. Now, she has had some rough times in the past, and so I think, based on her behavior, I don't think that she was physically abused, but I think that she may have been yelled at a lot, because when you approach her, she gets very, very passive. But yeah, I'm definitely, but she's just a very sweet dog, and I think it'll be nice to have her around while I'm working on videos and stuff. Just wait, she probably spent all the time with Mrs. Antichecker. Well, actually, Thomas, funny thing about that is that Mrs. Antichecker, of course, has Puka. I brought her on camera a couple times before. Puka is a little black Pomeranian. Very adorable dog. And in fact, too bad, if Puka were in the room right now, I'd show you, she just went to the groomer yesterday, so she just looks ridiculously cute. However, Puka is very high-strung, as many Pomeranians are. And so I can't have a dog like that with me while I'm working, but it would be nice to have that presence of, of a dog or something in the room. So with that, we got, we found this puppy when we were out after doing my tests yesterday. And plus, and Mrs. Antichecker, it was actually her idea for me to get this particular puppy for a couple of reasons. And one is, of course, a good companion for me while I'm up here working by myself. But also, and I really, really appreciate this, is that, as you guys know, one of the procedures I'm going through, and I'll get to the rest of your comments in just a minute. I know, Roxall, you wanted something that you wanted to talk about, so give me just a minute. But one of the procedures they're going to be doing in the next few weeks is replacing the cartilage in one of my knees because of the arthritis in that knee. That knee's in really bad shape. They're going to try to repair it. And if that procedure is successful, one of the things I need to do is go and walk a lot, right? And so one of the reasons Mrs. Atricker thought a dog like this would be good is because you got to take her for a couple of walks every day, and that would be very beneficial for me. So there's that. So plus, she happens to be, we do anything to save someone from the clutches of Karoga. So Rock Solid says, Ancher, can I hijack things for a second? Just had a development in the gamers world. Just want to throw something out there. Absolutely, Rock Solid. Tell me what's going on. Nightbreeze says, give it 2 days and Ancher will be using that bed while the dog sleeps with Mrs. Atricker. I hope not. Seth MacFarlane was supposed to be on a flight that would have crashed into a tower. Are you talking about like during 9/11? Mercer wants to know, do you guys want to see my cat? Sure, you can send it to me on Discord. We'll check out your cat. Hope you plan on setting up videos while you're recovering. Yes, Thomas. And that's, part of the reason that I've been getting things prepped around here is because once I have the procedure, I know it's going to be very difficult for me to get around. So I'm basically trying to get everything set up so that I can exist in this chair pretty much all day. Guys, there was a young, early 20s YouTuber focusing on video games. Well, after many scares, he finally committed suicide. Please, if you ever feel like that, reach out for help anytime, anywhere. You are so right, Rock Solid. And I tell you, depression is no joke. And like I said, that's part of the reason I want to get that puppy, because I've been really fighting off the depression, dealing with my health issues and stuff. And puppies are great for that, by the way. But we'll go to the Discord just a second, Mercer. So let me switch back, just make sure there's nothing that would get me in trouble. And and if I can find, man, I am like so old. All right. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Captain Spire, who is new to this channel, but you might have seen him in the thing today. I met Captain Spire just yesterday at the Doomcock Patron Discord chat. But this is a picture that he shared during the Doomcock event. This is his dad is the guy in the black shirt with the Enterprise on his shirt. And you can see that the gentleman, two guys over there, the gentleman there is in fact Isaac Asimov. And so that's from a Star Trek convention back in the 70s. So I thought that was really, really cool. And so he shared that's in the general Discord right now. But yeah, that was freaking awesome when he shared that. As like, a lot of us, like, we have you go to these conventions and nowadays you get your picture taken with some celebrity, and it's cool and all. But holy crap, Isaac Asimov, that was just so cool. All right, so here's Mercer's cat. Very cute kitten. And so I love that type of pattern on their fur, that kind of tiger-looking pattern. I think that's beautiful. Cats are great but I'm a dog person. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate cats. We actually have a cat as well. But I'm a dog guy. That's just me. So, as someone who's battled depression himself, there's never a reason to go and take your own life. You're so right about that, Rock Solid. But it's hard for someone in the throes of that to see that. And that's really where I think one of the strengths of the nerd community is we look out for each other. And let's face it, a lot of us have been damaged in one way or another. And so if we build, and that's honestly, whether you're, like, I know that people, we have people of all different walks that hang out here, but that's one of the big things about the existence of the church. That's one of the reasons that, and if you're not religious, you should be in a group, a social group of some kind. And if you can't be in a physical group, you should be with a group online, like what we're doing right now. Why? Because when one of us is hurting, and we all go through it in life, you don't come out of life undamaged. It just doesn't happen, right? And so when one of us is hurting, when one of us is going through that, then how great is it if you can surround yourself with people that have either been there themselves or at least are willing to be there with you as you go through it. So, yeah, I'm so. Thank you, Roxaldo, for sharing that. Seth was drunk, so he missed the flight. Well, that's good because we wouldn't have Orville if it wasn't for that. And of course, anybody that missed that flight, I'm sure is thankful. I had lots of depression issues. My best friend got me a cat years ago, and she says I seem to feel better. Well, that's good. And you know what? Animals can do that. I tell you, there is something about having a pet that, particularly a dog or cat, a pet that recognizes you as a person. There's just something about that that's really nice. Braveheart's on TV, watching the battle scene. Which battle, Falkirk or Stirling Bridge? I love that movie, so yeah. Praying for the YouTuber's family. Thank you, Night Breeze, and absolutely. Nermal is my best friend. So is it? So this is Nermal. That looks like a Nermal. So Seth missed the flight by 10 minutes. I'd never heard about that. And now Thomas put his cat on Discord. All right, Thomas, let's take a look at... Oh, we got a few cats popping in here now. So this is Captain Cat's cat. And looks like Mercer posted another picture of Nermal here. That's a look like, yeah, F you. That's like the look I have on my face when I think about Ryan Johnson, to be honest with you. So, let's see. Thomas, here's Thomas's cat. That's a very cat look right there. So I'll tell you, our cat Marshmallow is a ragdoll, and so your cats would run circles around Marshmallow. Ragdolls are big cats, but they're also because of the way they're built, they can't jump worth a darn. So Marshmallow is like 15 pounds. And keep in mind, our beagle that we're getting is 20 pounds. That's, and then Puka, the Pomeranian, is 3.5 pounds. But yeah. BIRDOPREY says, sorry I was deloging if I missed anything. Well, we didn't really need to know that, Bird, but thank you. Darth says, I had depression and I thought about suicide many times, but I try to see greener pastures ahead. You know what, Darth? And I'm not joking, man. Get yourself a dog or a cat if you don't already, but at least get yourself around other people. Honestly, that's the best thing for you. But thoughts and prayers to you, my friend. And of course, you are a part of our community, so don't ever think that you don't have friends. All right. And heck, if you're feeling that bad one night, get on Discord. Just start talking to people about nerdy stuff. It'll help you. I've done it a couple of times. Trust me, I know. I launched my channel in 2015. 2 months later, my new wife, best friend of 20 years, of 6 months, left me, lost my house, got demoted, dog died, kids stopped talking to me. Wow, that's a rough patch and a half. And Mercer, yes, we saw the other picture of Nermal, unless you put another one since then. The battle is taking place in a field. Yeah, that's why they call it a battlefield. So did Mark Wahlberg. Really? Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane were supposed to be on that flight? I tried a few stupid things, so like I say, I know. Get it? Anti-Trekker as a cat. Yes, that is correct. How is your dog and cat going to react? That's a good question. We're not 100% sure. Now, keep in mind, on the one hand, they may be, I'm guessing they'll be a little apprehensive at first. However, since Auntie is so mellow, unfortunately, and Auntie is also going to be by far the largest of the three, I don't think it's going to be a major problem. Because Puka will just basically run around in circles and yip and be excited because, oh boy, somebody's in the house. Marshmallow, at worst, will probably just say, screw this, and find a place to hide. That's probably what we're looking at. Posted a couple more Nermal pics. All right, let's take a look here. Go back to general. Now that is a great cat pic right there. That's a good one right there. Nermal looks absolutely adorable there. And so, pretty eyes on that cat, too. Gotta say. Going to a metal show on New York on Sunday. Well, you should go hang out with BIRDOPREY since you're gonna be in New York. Darth Killon's 3 cats and a dog. Well, you know what? Then when you're feeling down, you spend time with those cats and a dog. Be right back. Leaving the office to get to the car. Sorry for taking things dark, but it was important to pass along. No, Rock Solid, it's okay, man. Luke says hello, hiya, or hiya. How do you say that in French? Hello, hiya. I can't. Yeah, don't know if Seth and Wahlberg were supposed to be on the same flight, but they both were on flights for a day. And says, thank you. You're more than welcome. Welcome back to the 8.6K mark. I tell you, this has been a rough patch and a half for me and that's another thing that's kind of fed my depression is that this whole Google crap. I watched the Veritas video today, the one on BitChute, and I will tell you, this company, I honestly, it's funny because the fact that Democrats and Republicans are getting tired of Google's crap, they need to frickin' act on that. They absolutely need to act on it. I'm sorry, Google, at this point, they're getting, to say something that my parents would have said, Google is getting too big for their britches. They need to, they need to basically, and I'm not a fan of antitrust laws. I'm really not. But Google at this point needs to be broken up. They are becoming a textbook example of why antitrust laws are a necessary evil. Because they are actively trying to destroy the American way of life by taking control of our political system as a corporation. That needs to be stopped. That is the most dangerous thing I've ever heard of. My niece performed on Broadway yesterday. Wow! In a theater on the avenue itself, says Bert. I'm going to assume in a theater, but that's very cool, Mercer. They are working on a bill to force them to stop censorship. Yeah, there's a few senators and congressmen that have been working on stuff. I truly hope they do it. BIRDOPREY says legalizing weed, outlawing e-cigs. Are you in New York? Really? Are you serious? That's funny. Luke says cats, they're cute, they're hug beggars, and they're sadistic and selfish predators, just like humans then. Yes. Well, our cat isn't a hug beggar, but he, I keep saying she, but he likes to be around people. In the theater, she won Best Actress in her district. All the winners were on stage yesterday. That's very, very cool. BIRDOPREY said, oh, San Francisco. So San Francisco, well, that doesn't surprise me, honestly. Yeah, we're both supposed to be in the same plane. Wow. Tom says, I skipped your comment. Oh, man, I'm sorry. Would be scared to be anywhere near Bird. Yes. I don't know. How did I miss those comments? Just checked. They're as well scheduled for 5:11. I would be scared to be anywhere near Bird. Sorry, Thomas. That was not intentional, my friend. But I know you know that. My battle with depression is what leads me to try to help others. In YouTube, gives me a sense of purpose. I'm nothing special if I can, and if I can succeed, clearly anyone can. You know, Rock Solid, I've said the same thing. But here's the frustrating thing, is that now Google is trying to actively prevent people from succeeding. And that is sick, that is wrong, and it is well beyond what a corporation should. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a capitalist. I support the idea of strong corporations and making tons of money and all that. However, a strong corporation means a corporation produces a product or service that people want to pay money for, and they make tons of money doing it, and they do it better than anybody else, and they keep trying to improve, and they keep selling better and better products, and they make tons of money, and executives get rich, blah, 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 stockholders are happy, yada, yada, yada. It does not mean that the corporation then says, you know what, we need to rule the freaking world. And that's what Google is doing. I would not be surprised if, because I just said that my channel gets wiped out tomorrow. They are dangerous. So yeah, something needs to be done. So if I will tell you that when the next election comes around, if nothing has happened, that will be a decider for who I vote for. Let's see. My cat loves my mother more than me. Well, of course. Cats are very intuitive. Seth is going to be in a Showtime miniseries starting this Sunday on the story behind Fox News and Bill Ayers. And so I'm sure that'll be fair and balanced. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I actually saw a trailer for that, and it looks so bad, Bird. I tell you, if I had Showtime, I'd probably. I won't do a review of it because you just get banned by YouTube. But I would. That's one that I would do a drinking review on if it wasn't for the algorithm. Normal is the best. I also try to help my friend who's disabled. He has faulty lymphatic system and is swelling and has swelling. Ouch! I'm sorry about that. I try to order food for him whenever I can. Mercer, you're a good guy. I assume you're a guy. Mercer, it's kind of hard to tell. And Nightbreeze says, hey man, rock solid. Always try to make one person happy each day. That's a great way to look at it. It really is. And Sugar, what do you think about the knitting website that banned Trump support because it is white supremacy? I don't know anything about that, Nightbreeze. The knitting website, like knitting yarn and making clothes. I'm confused. So let's see. I agree. It's sad. Let's see. It's sad that with more subs, more watch time, and more views, I'm making less now than 2 years ago. 1,000 subs. Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting what they're doing. Normal can be your mascot. Well, except that Normal is your mascot, Mercer. Normal is an adorable cat, but Auntie is coming. So I'm already committed. We're getting Auntie. Google can't take your channel. You've been showing cat pictures. That's true. Maybe from now on, I'm just gonna have cat pictures on the screen while I'm talking. Yeah, shared a picture of me. I shared that picture of me with Jeffrey Combs a few months ago. I remember that. Nightbreeze says, Rivalry.com, is that the knitting website you were talking about? All right, let's take a look at what you're talking about. I'm going to open it up on another window just in case there's something there that, oops, and I messed up copying it. Helps if I and paste. It does look like it's a knitting website, but it's asking for a username and password. It's a free site for knitters and crocheters. And they have a little rainbow flag because they're politically correct. So what did they do? Did Ravelry do something, or did something happen to them? Luke says, the capitalist paradox, knowing full well that resources are finite, yet being all for infinite profits and big corporations, not noticing this means poverty for the rest. Disagree with you on that, Luke. I think that's a fault. There's a couple of faulty assumptions in there. Yes, resources are finite. However, money is not, right? So just because a corporation makes profit doesn't mean that it puts somebody else in poverty. And further, as much as a horrible term as it is, trickle-down economics is real. And so now you have two choices when it basically comes to economy or economic theory, right? You can do a controlled economy, something like communism, something like that, or you can do a free economy, which is capitalism. And of course, we currently live in what is just about halfway in between, something called fascism. However, in a capitalist society, yes, you're right. People will be poor, people will be rich. In a communist society, everybody will be poor. Which is better? I love you, but I gotta say, I would rather have the opportunity to get ahead and but fail than to never have the opportunity. If you post Trump support pattern or whatever, they ban you for. Oh, okay. So somebody like posted something that was pro-Trump and they got banned. Gotcha. Well, that, but here's the thing. On an individual website, particularly like a specialized website, like, for example, if on antitrucker.com, you started posting hate speech, I'd ban you, right? Now, do I consider, if you're a liberal Democrat, that hate speech? If you just start, like, for example, if you want to say, I think we should be capitalist or whatever. No. And I didn't mean infinite money. What I meant was, but if one person makes money, it doesn't cause another. It's not a zero-sum game. If I make $1 million, it doesn't mean that I took $1 million from you. All right. But infinite is, there's no such thing as an actualized infinite. But anyway, if you're on a private website, and this website requires a username and password to just get in, right? So it's obviously a private website. It's not a public search engine. It's not YouTube, right? It is a website for a group of people that are knitters, and I'm sure that they have their terms and services. And if they don't want Trump support, whatever, then they don't want anybody who's a Republican to join their site. Well, screw them. But you don't need to use rivalry.com in order to function. But corporations depend on Google. Billions of people depend on Google. And so Google has the ultimate power. Do you have the copyright match tool in YouTube Studio Beta? I haven't messed with you. I hate YouTube Studio Beta. So, why? But why are you asking, Bird? I've been in YouTube Studio Beta for a while because I can't stand it. The old ladies knitting websites are marching down the streets in white robes and burning crosses. Grow up, left. I saw the knitting article on Project Veritas' site. I did not hear about that, but yeah. What's with Garrick? I was watching some Deep Space Nine while I was working around here. How would Trump know he was banned? Good question. And yes, I recognize money is finite. I apologize for misstating it. Ever see In Time, good sci-fi allegory for economy? I don't. In Time, the name sounds familiar, but I can't quite place it. Why would Trump be on a knitting site? Well, because Trump knits. I don't know. I'm banning Trump from my Discord. Someone write an article. There you go. Physical therapy time. We'll be listening. All right, well, I feel sorry for the person receiving your physical therapy. Printing more money doesn't make it more plentiful. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, Luke, is that if I earn $1 million, that does not take $1 million away from you. You can earn $1 million too. All right. The amount of money you have is a direct result of your work. Now, is it entirely fair? No. But it's a better system than a controlled economy where everybody lives in poverty. And I'm sorry, but especially since you yourself mentioned that we are not in a post-resource scarcity economy, since you do have a finite level of resources, guess what? If you try to evenly distribute everything, you end up with situations like Soviet-era Russia, where people are starving to death. And the only people living in comfort are the party members because they're in charge and they ain't stupid. They realize that they can't truly have communism because that would mean they would be just as poor as everybody else. So BirdPrey says, you took $1 from 1 million people more likely. Wow, Bird's turning into a communist. Interesting. I never would have pegged you for a liberal. But and Luke says, thinking money is not a zero-sum game is the reason for capitalist paradox. Okay, let me ask you something, Luke, in all seriousness. So let's say and even though I'm not, let's suppose that my YouTube channel, I get 100,000 subscribers and I make $10,000 this month. Who did I steal that money from? So if Nerdrotic earns $10,000 this month in ad revenue because he's doing so well, did he steal that money from me? No, he did not. Because I could earn that money too. if I could get people to go to my channel and all that. So that's what I'm talking about. Just because one person is successful does not mean they hurt somebody else. And to say so, to assign blame on people for being successful, that's liberalism. And to me, that's the mental disorder of liberalism, is to somehow make it so that someone who is successful has committed a crime against people who are not successful. And I don't agree with that. Nightbreeze says, I shared the article on Discord. I'm not sure which article specifically you're talking about, but let me see. As soon as you put it in the general chat, because I don't see it. I see cute little cats, but I do not see the an article, Nightbreeze. Unless did you send it to me in a direct message, but I don't see a direct message from you. Anyway, Life with Matthews here. Good to see you, my friend. Says, hey, y'all. YouTube Studio Beta sucks. On that, we can definitely agree, my friend. I can't stand it. You didn't take anything, Bird. It's earned, not taken from anyone. Exactly, Rock Solid, and I agree with that. Got to go to work. All right, Darth Killian, you take care, man. In time, people have... man, Mercer, you got to work on your caps lock. In time, people have 1 year to live. They use the time they have left as currency. Oh, yes, yes, yes! I did see that. And yeah, that's an interesting allegory for capitalism that is an out-and-out lie. And that's the idea that, yes, in order for me to be successful, I have to take from you, right? Now, here's the difference, though. If I come up with a product or service that people want to purchase, I am not stealing from those people. They give me their money with free will, all right? Now, yes, it's true that if I happen to make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, that just means that lots of people have given me their money. But it's not like I stole it from them. It's not like I crushed them down and oppressed those people. No, I offer a product that they want and they pay me for it, right? Now, some of those products are grossly overpriced. Like I think about the iPhone selling for $1,200 or whatever it is. And people are lining up to buy the latest iPhone or the latest Samsung phone or whatever. But the thing is that, and I mean, like you guys are all supporters of this channel, right? Am I stealing that money from you? Heck, Luke, you're one of my biggest supporters there is, and I love you for it. Well, I love you anyway, but you know what I'm saying. You're a big supporter of this channel. I am sure that you don't think that I'm stealing the money from you, because if you did, you wouldn't be a supporter of this channel. That's for sure. But I know you're a thinking guy, Luke, and I appreciate that. I truly do. They banned anyone supporting Trump, flat out called them white supremacists. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, come on, that's the line these days, that if you're a Trump supporter, and I don't give a crap. I was not a Trump supporter. I've said before, I had never voted for the guy, but I know people that did vote for Trump, and they're not white supremacists, amazingly. I wonder which was held for review, supporting Trump or white supremacists. That money came from your backers. In Time wasn't a great movie, but it will make you think. Agreed. I thought it was an interesting film, but I still think that it's just the standard Hollywood trope that success is evil. Even though Hollywood makes movies that earn billions of dollars. Why? Because people line up to pay $10 to watch a movie. And then they sit there and point their finger at corporations and say how evil they are for making money. F you, Hollywood. Do you want us to not go see your movie? Luke says, by the way, I don't identify as either capitalist or collectivist. I think both systems are broken. However, I do believe there might be a way to reform capitalism into something workable. Well, I would agree that neither, I wouldn't say necessarily broken. I think that neither system is, here's the thing. I will say this. If we're in a post-scarcity environment, communism is better. However, if you have infinite resources, communism all the way, because then everybody just gets whatever they want and all that, and that's great. If you're in a system where there is not enough resources for everybody to have, then capitalism is really all you got. That will work. Because if everybody has a little bit less than what they need to survive, everybody dies. All money it's a totem representing exchange for labor. All money is a totem representing exchange for goods and services. That's very true. And by the way, sorry for missing that comment, Luke, because it was a great comment. They have 1 year. I read that already. Didn't take the money from his backers. They willingly gave it to him and contributed to his earnings. Yes, that's my point. John DeMarco says, that's our cat, William. Well, it's an adorable cat, John. Luke says, hey, Trigger, why do you think I assign blame to anyone when I say money is not a zero-sum game? It's not a binary dilemma. There are many ways to say that and not be a capitalist worst enemy. Well, Luke, because I'm speaking with some hyperbole there, I admit. But here's the thing. I don't, and you answer me this. Do you think that a person being financially successful is directly responsible for the poverty of others? And so, for example, if let's say that I get lucky and my YouTube channel gets past this Vox adpocalypse and becomes successful and I become a YouTube millionaire, does that mean that I'm to blame for the person down the street that can't pay their mortgage? That's an honest question. Caps lock equals cruise control for cool. Again, you seem to be able to separate making a profit from committing theft. You don't seem to be able to separate making a profit from committing theft. I can separate. It seems like my question is, do you separate it? When I say money, say the money you earn comes from somewhere, I'm not saying you're stealing it. It is profit, okay? But then I don't understand your point. If you're not, if you don't have a problem with it, then why point out that it comes? Like you're Are you taking it from someone else? Or what is your point? Let me ask you that. But good to see you, Gary. I'm hanging in there. Back hurts, but getting ready for Auntie the dog to show up in the next day or two. It's not a zero-sum game, but it's not a forced pay system either. We get to choose the things we like, except taxes. Those are forced. Yes, I agree with you, Matthew. Taxes, unfortunately, yes, are forced upon us, and I understand they are necessary for the government to function. Not a fan of taxes, but then very few people are, unless they are far lefties and they're collectivists. Luke says, Answer, where I'm coming from is this. When you're making a profit, you're actually selling something to someone. Thus, this money comes from your customers. These guys work to get that money. Yes. And there's a combination of wisdom, what you spend your money on, and cunning, getting people to give you money. Salesmanship, also getting people to give you your money. Hard work, the ability to earn more money. I mean, there's a million factors there. However, if somebody is, and I do believe in the safety net, right? I'm not one of those people that says, oh, we should have no such thing as welfare. I think that the government should take care of those that are unable to take care of themselves. That does not mean I think that we should have a minimum sustained wage or something like that, because I think that is kind of idiotic. And if you were going to do that, you would have to have a 50% tax rate just to pay for the wage. I think taxes are unconstitutional, but I know I'm in the minority. Actually, there are a lot of people that believe that and agree with that, Roxal, but the problem is, unconstitutional or not, taxes are an absolute necessity. And so let's suppose the Supreme Court ruled tomorrow that taxes are indeed unconstitutional. Then the next day, Congress would put out a constitutional amendment and the states would immediately ratify it because everybody would recognize that it is necessary. Or at least everybody in office. Enter where I'm coming from. I already read that. The union steals $55 a month from me. Yeah, unions, don't get me started about unions. Unions, there's only one purpose to a union. Well, there's number one, take your money. And that is, they do forcibly take your money. And so that is theft. Number two, their job is to get you to be able to make more money from your employer for less work, thus making it more difficult for that employer to make a profit. If I owned a corporation that was unionized like that, I would break the union wide open. And it's not that hard to do. It just takes balls. Life with Matthew says, I more or less agree. I think that the goods tax makes sense that the government can perform vital services. Yes, you have to be able to fund the government. And even at a minimalist level, you still have to have the military, you have to maintain infrastructure, you have to maintain the educational system. All the super chats I could have got with that money, yeah, those damn unions. Posted one more normal. All right, let's take a look here. Now that looks like normal posed for that picture. That's a good one. We had military before taxes. We did, but it was a volunteer militia, and people used their own guns. I mean, we couldn't exist as a nation in the modern world like that, Rock Salad. I'm sure you know that. We cannot. I mean, it's one thing to, hey, gather your muskets, we're going to fight the Brits, as opposed to, hey, gather your thermonuclear warheads to defend against the Russians. No, that's not going to work. But the high level of taxes we have to support the social programs is wrong. It robs me of my ability to help my neighbors. Well, I do agree with that, Matt. I don't think that, for example, we need, the way that Social Security is done, horribly, it's just wrong. The way that a lot of these things, now, like I said, I do believe in welfare for those that are incapable of taking care of themselves. That would include the elderly. However, I don't think that there should be an automatic hit this age and get retirement from the government. I don't believe in the modern Social Security system. I know that sounds horrible, but basically I think that people should be, it's up to them to take care of themselves until they reach such a state where they cannot do it anymore. See, I'm super libertarian here. I'm against almost all government assistance. I am not against all government assistance, but I'm a lowercase L libertarian is what I call myself. Individual capitalism, understand I can't talk today. Reciprocity. Market capitalism understood that customers are finite and constitute a market. Industrial capitalism understood the concentration of capitals. Okay? And Thomas says, Paul the alien. Okay. Illinois politicians never met a tax they didn't like. Well, Illinois is, yeah. No, the libertarian who ran on the Republican ticket. Oh, for Paul in 2000. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember his full name. But I don't do politics anyway. I don't vote. Well, I do vote, but I don't vote for a political party. I simply look at the candidates and say who's the closest aligned to me, and usually that's a libertarian. Roxaw, but if they do that and pass an amendment for taxation, then it becomes what? Constitutional. Yes. And I wouldn't have a problem with that. But, but it would be up to the Supreme Court to make that ruling. What happens with those huge modern corporations is they get overwhelmed with their market. Sure, they make tremendous profits, but you got to understand this means they're either absorbed or extinct. I think I'm missing. Are they either absorb or wipe out their competitors? Gotcha. Well, yeah, that's the name, and that's why we have antitrust laws to prevent that from happening. That's the level of control. That's about as far as I go as far as controlling the economy. I'm okay with antitrust laws to prevent the tyranny of the monopoly, because that is exactly what we were seeing in a little company called Google. Since 1934-ish, Jonestown, PA has been paying a flood recovery tax from the flood of 1889. Really? That's just stupid. That is. I live in Illinois. They have a saying, if it moves, tax it. If it doesn't move, tax it. I like that. Yeah, I wish I could leave Illinois. Tennessee's nice. Come on down, Night Breeze. Luke says, well, even when day one as rebels against the crown, you needed guns from other nations to become independent. Your own guns weren't enough. Right, but those guns were generally, I know that the American Revolution, I'm not a historical expert on it by any stretch, but yeah, they didn't tax people to get the guns, but they managed to ask people to pony up to get the guns. And they also asked for help from other countries, including Luke's home country of France. And if it wasn't for the French finally showing up late, we wouldn't have made it. Me too, I miss Wisconsin. Rand Paul, rock solid, says, Have a great one, Trigger, everyone. Time for food. All right, I'm going to be logging off here in just a minute, too. I need to eat. Ron Paul, not Rand. Yeah, Rand is the kid, Ron is the dad, right? Luke says, your antitrust laws are sadly as ineffective as ours. Look at your media. They're all owned by a total of 5 corporations. Yes, 5. They are not a monopoly. Antitrust is to prevent the tyranny of a monopoly. Now, granted, you can argue that, well, that's not enough. So how many media companies should there be? Or should we just be in the Wild West of YouTube? But you also look at the success of things like YouTube, individual content creators, people like myself, and also look at like the relative success of groups like Star Trek Continues. If they had done something original instead of just being a Star Trek spin-off, they'd still be going. So I do think that Google is heading towards a breakup. I'm drinking Founders IPA Pledge for my loyalty to the Founders. Okay. That's good. Texas is better. It's hot and humid, and we got tornadoes and hurricanes. No thank you, Life with Matthew. I will take Tennessee over Texas any day. Although, I will say this. I would move to Texas if it meant I got free unlimited steak. Because I do love me some Texas steak. The thermal exhaust port is only 2 meters wide. That's true. They were French guns given with much pleasure. Well, thank you, Luke. I do appreciate it. Back when the French had balls. Ooh, dang, Thomas. They align themselves on each other. They align themselves on each other for the most part. What's the difference between 1 and 5 if those 5 do the same thing? Well, I agree with you that, well, if you're talking about the news media, I agree with you 100%. I mean, we have basically Fox and everybody else, right? Fox gives the conservative spin, everybody else gives the liberal spin. However, we all know that the news is very well edited at this point. Google is trying to take that to the next level and absolutely control and make it so you cannot access information that they don't want you to access. And that's downright scary. I am more concerned about Google right now than I am about the 5 media companies in the United States. Why? Because unless Google does shut down the ability to search for information, you can still independently get information. So the majority of people that are just mindless drones that either vote for a D or vote for an R, they'll get their Fox News or their MSNBC, and they'll be cheering on their guys and how the other guys are bad and all that crap, right? That can continue on ad nauseum. For the thinking people out there, well, they will continue to seek out independent sources, whether it be from foreign news sites like a lot of Americans like to use the BBC, or from individuals such as YouTubers and stuff that give their own interpretation of events. And so I think that there is, as long as the information is available, I'm okay with there only being 5 news or 5 media companies because, you know, if you had 150 media companies and every one of them was struggling to try and put a spin on the news, it would become even more biased. MSNBC would look like frickin' Walter Cronkite. Remember that technically Google is a division of Alphabet. Okay. But that's irrelevant to this discussion. Google is going to get broken up. Alcohol in PA has a 10% tax because of the flood. That's lovely. I'm glad I don't live in PA, man. I'm happy for your new family member. Nermal is so great for me. I'm glad. And she hangs in my office when I work. I don't doubt. Nermal looks like a great cat to have around. Wow, no notification from AdTrigger.com? Uh-oh. It must be the Kurogans. We need to talk to them Kurogans. Well, isn't that far out solid and right? Well, isn't that far out solid and right on? Well, yeah, I don't know what happened, Darren, because I think, most people got their notifications. Booze is expensive in PA. You have to go to estate stores to buy bottles. Yeah, a lot of store like in Tennessee, you still have to go to a state liquor store if you're buying anything other than beer and wine. Did you like Kuroga's new submarine? I didn't know they had a new submarine. But is that what you sent it to me on Skype, right? Let me go back and see. Yes. Here's the Kurogan submarine force. Very impressive. BIRDOPREY is getting his physical therapy right now, so he can't comment. But BIRDOPREY, look at your screen. Yes, the mighty Kurogan Navy at work. We looked at the Kurogan Air Force before, so yeah, Kuroga is really shaping up. Let's see. And let's see. Google can't be broken up. Alphabet will have to be broken up. Well, I don't know. I don't know the logistics of Alphabet's relationship with Google and all that, rock solid. I really don't. But however it works out, the government needs to split up either the Alphabet Corporation or Google or whatever. And, I honestly think that's inevitable at this point because Google is truly pushing the boundaries too far. When they actually start talking about influencing elections and stuff, like in the Veritas video, it's over for them. I'm telling you, it is absolutely over because I don't think Democrats or Republicans are going to sit back and allow that to happen. Even though they'll benefit the Democrats, I don't think the Democrats are dumb enough to allow that. I kind of see all corporations as a result of some form of capital gravity. Capital attracts capital, and the dynamics generate less capital pools overall, but bigger and bigger wins black hole. I get what you're saying, Luke, and I think there's some truth to that because, of course, the nature of a business is to try and earn more money, and the way you earn more money is to, A, put out better products that people want to pay for, and B, eliminate the competition. And, yeah. So, absolutely. Is the sub is the sub a turtle? The turtle? I don't know what the name of it is. Maybe Starfleet will be the black hole. And Mercer puts in a YouTube video. I don't know what for.
There you.
Oh, Pierce Morgan. Oh, okay. Oh, talk about the 9/11 thing. I'll check out later. Generally, I'm not a big fan of Pierce, but I'll check that out. And yeah, Mercer saying that Seth talking about the missing of the flight. Very cool. The submarine's name is Pukefish. So the Kurogan submarine is the Pukefish. Okay. And Darren says, yeah, forget about the Russians. Go after Google, Alphabet, YouTube. Yes. In whatever order is necessary. Alphabet is what Google was. Google is just the search engine division, just like Android and YouTube are the divisions under that umbrella. Fair enough. Well, if that's the case, yeah, then Alphabet would need to be broken up. I think that, in fact, at this point, I wouldn't mind if YouTube got broken up into a couple of different divisions. For example, you make one for corporates, like the things that they're trying to steer people to, their authoritative sites versus independent content creators. I can't believe Orville's so good. Seth, my new hero. It's the correct way to do nostalgia, making it new. I agree, Mercer. If it looks and feels like 90s Trek, it doesn't muddy it. It does. I just wish Seth was more of a TOS fan. However, I love the Orville. What's the difference between a Kurogan sub and just a rock? Well, certain types of rocks will, in fact, float. That's the main difference. Oh, and Thomas has another Kurogan sub. Let's take a look at this. Ah, that's the actual turtle. And let me see if... Oh, stupid pop-up ads. Thanks for making me fight that. Let's see. Probably there's not a picture. It's just like I mean, there's a couple of pictures that are kind of small, but you can see it. And every time, man, the stupid Encyclopedia Britannica ad keeps popping up because it's Britannica's website. But yes, so there is the turtle, and yes, let me get last couple of comments, and I'm gonna wrap things up. They both just sit on the floor of the water. The floor of the water? It's an interesting way to put it. Actually, you should name Kuroga submarine flagship. Remember all World War II through the mini Cold War attack submarines were named after aquatic life. Well, if World War II through mid Cold War attack subs were named after aquatic life, then I would say the Kurogan sub should be called the spineless, honorless Klingon jellyfish. Off to dinner with the parents. All right, rock solid, have a good one. What if we redefine capitalism to take scarcity into account? Some kind of scientific capitalism, if you will, acknowledging Earth as capital in and of itself needing to be conserved. I could see... I don't know. It would take a lot of work, Luke. honestly, I've tried to consider some kind of social capitalism system, and I think it can be done, but you have to do it. You The problem is that almost any system will eventually get perverted into some form of tyranny. That's the problem. It's not just capitalism; it is power. Power breeds tyranny, and it will. And the problem is that it's the inevitable cycle. Eventually, Google and other corporations will fall apart. The United States will fall apart. Something new will come. They'll say it'll never happen again, and then it'll happen again and again and again. We're just doing it faster now than we did in centuries past. But we've seen empires rise and fall over and over and over. Mecca's live on Twitch. Well, make sure, if you go over to Mecca's stream, make sure you guys say hi for me. And last comment, Luke says, instead of capital growth, the goal would be to manage capital cycle, finding ways to reuse that crap we waste. I'm for it, but I don't know how we could do it. And Mercer finishes up with the Ghostbusters. Our courteous and efficient staff is on call 24 hours a day to serve all your supernatural elimination needs. Thank you, Mercer. What a great way to finish up. Guys, I do need to wrap it up because Mrs. Anti-Tricker is waiting for me. We're going to have dinner. And then I need to get off of get on my back, really, because I am hurting pretty bad right now. So, guys, thanks again. Take it easy. And don't forget to tip. Well, I guess if you go to Mercer or to Mecca's stream, go give Mecca a little bit of a tip for me, but not too much. Save the real money for me because I need it more than she does.